Chasing the impossible dream. This is an advert. Ordinarily, it would seem an impossible dream that one day the flood of migration of Nigerians to foreign lands, particularly Europe and America, would reduce to a trickle and even be reversed. In other words, Nigerians in the diaspora and people of Nigerian descent would choose to return home, back to no power, no roads, no medical facilities, no this, no that, and start to build and create the Nigeria of their dream. Nigeria, a place where little seems to work despite its overabundance of human and mineral resources, has not been the most attractive place to return to for its young and educated citizens, upon whom such an impossible possibility depends. The migration abroad has been a one-way street. Beyond the millions of Nigerians that died in the forceful crossing of the Atlantic Ocean into slavery some 5 centuries ago, there are now additional millions voluntarily running away from the hardships at home and migrating by all means in search of a better life to countries all over the world. Interestingly, these young, mostly educated, rather loud and aggressive people are making substantial contributions to their home countries. The best of them are found in academics, the sciences, medicine, technology, business, the arts, politics, entertainment, and sport. Of course, the sport interests me. Until a few months ago, the thought of an average Nigerian in Europe and America returning home was remote. The hard and harsh economic situation at home would not allow such idle thoughts. Despite the often touted potentials of Nigeria's leadership of Africa and the black race, the reality on ground is that Nigerians may know it too, but probably do not believe it enough, and so do little to change their situation. Their leadership until now would rather choose the easier way out by joining to milk the country dry for selfish pecuniary reasons. Things may be about to change. The state of world affairs is forcing a rethink. There are conflicts all around the world, fueling a retreat to national interests. These conflicts are catalyzing a realignment of global forces, with the most powerful country in the world, the bastion of democracy and a free world, in the vanguard of promoting America first in an emerging new world order. America is no longer the land of the free and of immigrants. There's palpable fear in the world's leading democracy. The migration and tourism trains to the country are running at low capacity as the new government clamps down on all unregistered foreigners. This development is affecting the rest of the world in different ways, with every country now looking inwards to survive in a fast polarizing world. Nigeria is not left out. Many persons of African descent in the USA, the Caribbean, Brazil, and so on, that have traced their ancestry to some African countries want to reconnect to the motherland. Nigeria has not opened its doors to them wide enough. That's why the Return to Africa movement has not gathered momentum. Ghana has embraced them more, and a lot is happening in that country. A new president in the United States of America is changing the face of the world faster than could have been imagined possible only 6 months ago. With the world in turmoil and America fueling it, every immigrant is rethinking where is a safe haven in the world into the immediate future. Returning to Africa has become an inevitable choice. With its vast size, its huge youthful population, virgin markets, and abundant natural resources, the continent holds a vital key to the future of mankind. Time was when Africans were voluntarily migrating to friendlier climes abroad. Those days may have come to an end with America turning the screws of immigration and reversing the trend. A few days ago, one of my daughters, a very successful Nigerian American in the USA, Vice Chancellor of an American university, called me up to discuss sending her 13-year-old son back to Nigeria to continue his education, to develop his sport, and to imbibe his Yoruba culture. Our conversation on a daily basis since then set me thinking about the state of the world. Bill Clinton said during a lecture at the University of Rhode Island many years ago that as individuals, we may not be able to change the world, but by playing our small part, we can make a big difference to the world. Very true. For little drops an ocean make. Late Lee Evans said the same things to me when he was alive, and we lived under the same roof in Abeokuta. He was training a handful of boys and girls, not even the gifted ones, to become athletes and to earn their way into colleges in the United States of America for more advancement in their education and sport. I watched how he worked diligently and hard with the athletes on the only 100 meters grass track with tires and improvised benches as his training tools and workstations. He wanted to spend the rest of his life making that humble contribution and expanding it. He wanted to bring his assistant from the United States of America, a Cameroonian American that he swore would produce world-class athletes in 4 years in soccer. The same Segun Odegbami International College and Sports Academy. His dream was that the difficulty in getting American visas and scholarships for the best athletes would end when soccer starts to domesticate the programs and the processes and emulate the Jamaicans that stopped the migration to the US by providing the facilities, the institutions, and the programs locally. That is the only way to kickstart an authentic sports revolution in Nigeria. Lee Edward Evans died before we could do any of those things that he wanted. Now, although he continues to rest peacefully in a simple grave on the campus of SOCA in Wasiminia, Abeokuta, his spirit hovers, demanding that his dreams be fulfilled in the lives of Nigerian boys and girls, now that America is turning its back to all migrants. It is a blessing in disguise. My daughter's request is a reminder that I have unfinished business in Nigeria to build a home for the gifted boys and girls that will find their way into soccer and to provide them with the best functional facilities, trainers, programs, and the environment that will give them the best chances to become amongst the best athletes in the world without leaving Nigeria. The revolution of homegrown athletes must start now. The new ingredients for success are everywhere now. A new National Sports Commission, fixing facilities all over the country, gateway games, serving as model for renovating facilities in the States, the military and customs services joining in reviving the sports tradition within their establishment, and Soka moving to the next level in grassroots sports development within an academic institution. In absolute reality, the future does not exist. So I am embarking on that project starting now. By September, for the first time in the history of the 18-year-old academy, Soka shall have a most modern women's dormitory for the 40 girls that shall make up the female population of the school. A new 400 meters track and a new football field will be ready. Lee Evans' assistant, Eche, that Lee recommended as one of the best track and field trainers in the world, will resume work in Soka to run the athletics program that will produce champions in 4 years. Sport shall be at the core of our programs in Soka. It will now extend from 4 hours to 6 hours every day. This will run side by side a simple new methodology in teaching covering the regular national academic curriculum of Nigerian secondary schools to ensure that the products of Soka are not just world-class athletes, but also first-class students. So, from now, the only time that exists, I am going to be swimming against the tide of ordinary things. We ride on the back of faith and venture once again into the wilderness of opportunity whilst trying to fulfill impossible dreams. Of course, I will need plenty of support. That's why this is an advertisement.